Hello and welcome to UFC Connected. The UFC's annual trip to London this year was headlined by welterweight contenders Darren Till and Jorge Masvidal. With a potential fight in the works with the winner of the big matchup, fellow welterweight Ben Askren made his journey to London to attend the big event. Never one to mince his words, Askren had plenty to say as he watched on. We joined him front row as he took in all the action.
Front row with Funky Ben, main event time. When Bruce Buffer said it's time, I think every person in the arena was right there with him. Man, oh geez. Oh, a nut kick. He ran straight into a nut kick.
That's got to be the quickest low blow that I've ever seen inside the octagon.
Yeah, you can see how disappointed Masvidal is already.
But George Masvidal runs straight across the cage and does like a front kick, but it's like 18 inches high. I don't ever know that I've seen such a direct nut kick. That was bonkers. Yeah, all right, they're fighting again. Oh! Till drops him. We're only 10 seconds into the fight. We've had two insane things happen already. This is awesome. I don't even know if you guys can hear me over this crowd. This crowd is bonkers. Masvidal is swinging just wild. Oh, Masvidal is not blocking that left hand at all, and Till is landing it hard. They didn't take a point on the nut shot, did they? No. They could have. That was about as direct nut shot as you get. Oh, Masvidal actually lands a nice, solid left hand. Oh, and we're taunting each other. All right, we're going. Round one in the books. Very clear Darren Till round. I think Masvidal gave enough back, but Till was sure landing a lot with his left hand. A very, very clear 10-9 for Darren Till in that round.
So round number two, they touched him up. Till marching forward with a double jab.
So Till lands with his front hand now to start off the round.
Masvidal amping up the aggression.
Oh, oh, it's over.
Oh, hey, Masvidal gets a massive knockout win here in London. He silences the crowd.
Wow!
Declaring the winner by knockout, Jorge!
And George wins his first fight in 3 years.
I need that belt wrapped around my waist. I do it only had one loss and I was still the champ. I need that belt wrapped around my waist. Dana White, I sold this out. I gave you a great fight. Let's go, man. Get behind me. I might not have a whole country behind me, but I have the whole world behind me, you know?
A strange belt call-out, considering he's lost his last two fights. Well, Jorge Masvidal gets a knockout win, but man, a belt after losing 2 in a row, give me a break. Thanks for joining us in the front row, guys, and maybe we'll do this again sometime.
UFC fans got their first look at Sweden's Bea Malecki as a contestant on season 28 of The Ultimate Fighter, where she immediately impressed UFC matchmakers. So when the UFC sat down in Stockholm earlier this year, she got the call up and was given the tough task of taking on undefeated Brazilian Duda Santana. Let's see how it all went down on her debut day.
We're in Sweden and it's time for me to have my first fight in the UFC. So we're here training before we go to the arena. I'm just trying to stay relaxed and really enjoy being here and being focused on the fight and what I should do.
Yep, nice girl. Damn, you're on point, you know that?
You know, fighting at home, she's comfortable in this environment. She knows everybody. Her family's here, all of her friends, people that she knows. At the end of the day, you're gonna go in there and get in a fist fight. The door's gonna shut, and all that stuff goes away.
Good, single, 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 yep. Stop, 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 stop beating this guy up. Dial it down just a little. He's so ready to go.
People love striking. She's a world champion in striking. She likes to stand and bang. As far as the game plan goes, we've prepared everywhere, and we're ready to take the fight wherever it goes.
Good, nice. Yep, just like that. Shut it down, it's enough. She's done, she's ready.
Okay? Yep. Should we rock and roll?
Yep. Sure, make it Semtex.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
The way that we look at it is the athlete's done the work through the camp, put in the grind, put in the sweat. That's the success. The fight is just the cherry on top. The fight is them showcasing that to their friends, to their family, for themselves. Right now, we just want to get her warmed up adequately so she's ready to go right when she hits the cage. She flew halfway across the world, stayed in a place that she's never been in, got tortured for 7 weeks, did everything I asked her to do. So no matter what, I'm super proud of her and I'm excited for her. Good. It's all on her now, you know. When the athlete goes in there, it's them.
Feels like you have to hug you. Let's hug you here.
Yeah.
A group hug.
We'll hug it here and then we're done. All right.
Yep.
There is a difference.
Let's go.
On the move, guys, on the move.
Just listen to that welcome for Stockholm's very own Bea Malecki.
Fighting out of Stockholm, Sweden, Bea Malecki!
Let's go. Hands up, sit down, Bea. Bea, move to the right. Bea, move to the right.
The difference immediately is that Duda standing in the center, holding the ground and throwing punches, and Bea Malecki is moving laterally, moving around her and trying to pick her off.
Speed, no power, Bea.
Takedown for Duda, good head position as well. Now she's trying to control the hips as Bea's working back to her feet.
Malecki out, starts working her jab now. She needs to really land some significant strikes here.
Good job, sit down. I need all speed. That's way too slow. You're way too slow out there. 1-1-2, just try to touch her. 1-1-2, 1-1-2, right? And move.
All set for round number 2 in this women's bantamweight contest. Malecki throwing out that jab.
Nice.
Good work by Santana to follow up behind it and forces her against the fence.
You know, this is important for Malecki to try to D this one up. She ends up on top. Beautiful job.
The Swedish fans respond.
Nice.
And here's that nasty rear naked choke that her coach was telling us about.
Body lock, good.
Nice adjustment there from Malecki, getting the body triangle, staying on top. She's out. She's down.
Oh, and a big roar from Malecki as she probably has come from behind here to get a win in front of her home fans.
Declaring the winner by submission due to a rear naked choke, Bea Malecki!
It's amazing to fight at home and all these people you guys share for me. Thank you so much.
How many people make a UFC debut in their hometown? So many people here to see her and so much expectation. First round was a little shaky. We thought if she got on top of her and got her back and got that body lock, she was going to be able to get it done, and she did.
Maybe because it was my debut, I needed one round to, like, you know, feel it. We said we're gonna take her down. As soon as she got down, I took her back, and I knew I was gonna get it. Like, when I was there, I'm like, I'm gonna get it. Even if I couldn't really get it in, I was like, oh, it's coming, it's coming.
You're watching UFC Connected. With its recent success in the octagon, Colorado-based Factory X fight team is emerging as a true power player in the UFC. Head coach Marc Montoya is credited for their ongoing fortune, and his growing stable of fighters boasts a number of standout performers. Let's find out more about Montoya's approach to the fight game in Coach's Corner.
The relationship between a coach and a fighter is absolutely unique. It's something that has to be developed over time, in the trenches, working together, on the mat, off the mat, in the cage, out of the cage.
Be that guy. Be the one, okay?
Anything that encompasses that type of work, it's hard not to have and/or build an amazing relationship. The work is done by the time you get to fight week. It's essentially just keeping them sharp, both mentally and physically. One of the things I say to my athletes a lot is, you know, yesterday's history, tomorrow's a mystery, and today's the present, so let's treat it like that. We get to really have fun and just enjoy life. My approach on fight night, you know, when we get to the locker room, it's time for them to start flipping the switch. Stop processing. It's time to start working strictly on instinct. It's time to stay sharp and both mentally and physically get ready to perform. And lastly, stop worrying about anything else and everyone else and just go out and impress yourself. The atmosphere in the locker room is always different. Some fighters want it to be a little more chill and relaxed. Some fighters want it to be a lot of fun. But there's always going to be that tension of, okay, it is time to rock and roll and go have fun and showcase our skills. You've got to make friends with that feeling. That feeling's not going away. So make friends with that feeling and understand that that's just part of what we're doing. One of my favorite parts of the entire fight is the walkout. Getting an opportunity to walk behind them, feel their music, feel the vibe that they're after, feel the vibe of the crowd, getting to the cage and seeing them pace back and forth, the tension that they have, like, okay, it's showtime. There's nothing in this world that can replace that.
Let's go, baby!
As a coaching staff, we're looking for tendencies, we're looking for intel.
Yeah, get intel! Get your intel!
Is our strategy working, or do we need to make adjustments on the fly so that our fighter can be victorious? By the time the bell rings and we get up the stairs and in the door, we've already lost about 5 seconds. By the time he sits down, ice and water on his head and cool him down, it's another good 10 seconds.
You're trying to hit him at 100. I just need you to hit him at 70 and be accurate.
It's very important to be clear, concise.
Okay, listen to me. You're throwing kicks without hands. Yep. She's countering your kicks.
Sometimes have a real sense of urgency in your voice.
You're breaking it mentally, you hear me? Now put it on him again, okay?
All right, it's time to go. We need some of that too.
Hey, pull the hood out of here right now. Keep it up. Come on, let's go.
If we're dealing with adversity, okay, let's admit you've dealt with some adversity. You saw it all.
Look at me. You've seen the best he can be.
Give them that sense of peace because they're not thinking about that. They're just thinking, oh crap, I gotta breathe and I gotta get back out there.
Hey, come on, baby. You saw the best he can give. Let's go.
The game plan always looks great on paper. It looks great in training. There's always going to be requirements to make adjustments. When Anthony Smith fought Shogun, he responded really well.
Here we go, baby. Trust your instincts. Here we go.
When he steps back toward the cage and hits him with the right hand.
Shogun's on his heels.
Knowing Anthony's game, he's going to now want to get long and start hitting him with punches that have torque on them.
Big shot.
But as he starts to get close, I notice the distance and range is getting shorter. You can hear myself saying, elbow.
Elbow! Elbow!
And then next thing you know, he hits an elbow.
Here's a stoppage for Anthony Smith! Wow!
It's almost like playing a video game where you're supposed to hit a certain button to throw an elbow, and that's what he did.
Lionheart Smith roars again!
The emotions I have and the fighter has and our coaching staff has when our fighter wins, especially in a big win with a finish. It's a feeling of just euphoria where you almost feel like it's an out-of-body type thing. That moment where we lock eyes and you're like, yes, we did it. We solved the problem, the puzzle, and we did our job as a unit and a team. That is true joy. I 100% believe this is what I was born to do, to lead men and women. I can't see myself doing anything else. I'm living a dream, and I get to do that every day, every week, trying to continually chase greatness with these people. Being a part of all of that, you know, just brings a huge smile to my face.
UFC light heavyweight champion Jon Jones is widely considered to be one of the greatest MMA fighters of all time. His career achievements and numerous spectacular performances inside the octagon have included some of the most memorable moments in UFC history. We gave UFC analyst Dan Hardy the task of picking just 5. Let's hear what he's selected as we take 5 with the Outlaw.
Jon Jones is quite possibly the best mixed martial artist to be walking the planet in the current day.
He might be the greatest talent that we've ever seen in the UFC.
He was a special fighter when he came into the UFC.
This kid is the now generation.
And he's just gone from strength to strength. I'm Dan Hardy, and these are my top 5 Jon Jones moments. Number 5, becoming the youngest champion in UFC history. I remember when the Jon Jones Shogun Rua fight was made, it kind of split the whole mixed martial arts community. The old school people that knew what Shogun was capable of, they'd followed him through his Pride career and they'd seen the best years of Shogun, they knew how dangerous he was. And then there were the new wave of fans, the Jon Jones era, the guys that had got on board because they saw Jon Jones and how talented he was. And it was like we had 2 different groups of people following 2 careers until they met.
Shogun and Jones for the light heavyweight title.
The first exchange, 30 seconds in, Jon Jones locks up a head and arm choke and trips Shogun to the mat.
Big takedown.
There was a silence through half the arena because everybody all of a sudden realized that the old school could no longer compete with the new school. Jon Jones was beating Shogun to the punch, he was handling him in the clinch.
Oh,
it was amazing to see with someone as dangerous as Shogun. A young man like Jon Jones, stepping in for his first title shot, 6 weeks notice, taking on a legend like Shogun, and becoming the youngest light heavyweight champion of all time.
Jon Jones is the youngest champion in UFC history!
Number 4, dramatically submitting Lyoto the Dragon Machida. A lot of people were anticipating Machida was going to be a real challenge for Jon Jones because he was a seasoned striker, he was a lifelong martial artist, and he had a very unorthodox style.
Oh! Pushing forward again is Machida.
But again, you know, a playful Jon Jones was able to control the octagon with his superior size and range and technical ability.
Oh! He's got a choke! Trying to choke him out. He's standing against it. Lyoto's in trouble. It is all over. It is all over. Wow.
When you see him just drop Machida in a heap against the fence, all of a sudden you go, there's an edge to this guy. He cranked that neck until he was unconscious, and he knew he was unconscious. And there was no lowering him down, there was no letting the referee step in. It was literally just release, let him go. Let everybody see what I've just done to this man. Number 3, the armbar escape against Vitor Belfort. Vitor Belfort was another one of those guys that had attained legendary status when he was still competitive. You know, Jon Jones always handles people so well against the fence, but people always slept on the black belt of Vitor Belfort.
Oh, Armbar! He's got it! He has got it right here! Jones trying to power out of it!
Oftentimes, when you see someone that's cruised all the way to a championship like that, when they find themselves in deep water for the first time, there's a panic, and that's when their heart comes into question. And what we saw about Jon Jones in that moment is that you can take that limb, and I'll hit you with the other one.
I think he's out, he's out, he's out. Wow.
That's an additional attribute that I think is uncoachable in fighters. You're either born with that or you're not. And to see that in Jon Jones, as well as all of the other things that he has, who do we find to challenge him? Number 2, coming back from the brink against Alex Gustafson. When Jones was matched up against Gustafson, okay, we've got 2 tall guys, they're going to challenge each other in the striking range. Gustafson was out of the gates very quickly. His footwork was on point, he was moving very well, he was punishing Jon Jones because he was a step behind. And then when it came to the 4th round, I personally had Gustafson ahead on the cards.
There's a lot of anxiety in the corner of the champion, Mike. Here's a nice elbow, caught him. Oh, that might have hurt.
He feinted to the lead leg to force Gustafson to lower his level, and then he came spinning round with the elbow.
Gustafson is hurt. Gustafson's busted up now.
Because it was such a big statement late on in the fight, it was difficult to score against Jon Jones after that.
Incredible fight.
That's why we call them the championship rounds. That's where champions show themselves. Over a 3-round fight, Gustafson wins. But over a championship fight, Jon Jones shows you why he's the champion.
Still!
And at number 1, his epic rivalry with Daniel Cormier. In sports, we love a good rivalry.
Every ounce of training you put in leading up to this fight will be a waste of your life.
We also love a really competitive matchup, but it's very rare that you get a competitive matchup with 2 guys that really don't like each other, and they just happen to be the number 1 and 2 in the world.
Oh! Big kick by Jon. Good right hand by DC.
Going into the first fight, Daniel Cormier was searching for the man that would be his equal, the person that would challenge him.
He's really taking it to DC.
When he met Jon Jones, he realized that there was someone that was not only his equal, it was his superior in the combat sports world.
He's looking at his superior, man, he just can't handle it.
Your head's more in the clouds than I could ever.
You're my little.
In the second fight, he started off really well.
Oh, looked like he knocked the mouthpiece out. Good start here for Cormier.
But Jon Jones reads you and he sees his opportunity.
Cormier's in big trouble.
Trying to
That's it. He's out. He's out.
Jon Jones has done it.
You always feel in a competitive match like that you can run it back and see something different. But when you've got that storyline going into it, the narrative, that gives the fans and the media something to get their teeth into. I can watch those guys fight each other every weekend.
That wraps us up for another episode. Keep the conversation going online by using the hashtag UFC Connected. I'll see you next time.